Growing up in Israel, Antonio Sistiel got his first taste of being a salesman while visiting the U.S. as a child.
When I was 9 years old, I lived in Israel, and my parents decided to send me to a little trip in the United States to visit my brother. So I came to Miami, and my brother was in a retail business. They had a little store on Lincoln Road in Miami Beach. And I remember they left me one evening at the store. One of the customers walked into the store and asked me a question about one of the products, and I didn't speak any English. I had no idea what he's talking about. So he was pointing on something at the store. I showed it to him, and he ended up spending $2,000 with me, and I ran outside with my brother telling him I made a sale. And that was basically the first time I fell in love in retail.
Antonio returned to Israel, and by the age of 14, he had left school and began working for his father full-time. That is, until he had to complete his mandatory service in the Israeli military.
And day after the military, once I finished the military, the next day I just end up in Miami, flew back over here and tried to see if I can live the American dream. I joined back with my brother and started doing the retail industry. And we end up at the flea market selling fragrances. I was a cosmetic and fragrance business for a couple of years, selling perfumes at flea markets, selling perfumes to people.
The fragrance business did well for Antonio, but he was always looking for something more. He just never imagined his future might literally be under his feet.
I got a phone call from a friend of a friend telling me they have a few containers that they need to get rid of. I had no idea what flooring is, but I bought it. I had a little warehouse, so I stored it in the warehouse.
Not sure what to do with all the flooring he had purchased, Antonio reached out to the vast network he had established through his fragrance business, primarily in South America.
So I find a guy in South America to sell them the 20 containers of flooring that I bought, and that was the beginning of me understanding what the flooring business is, and I saw the opportunity to grow and to start making big money. So I went back to the people that sold me this flooring, asked them if they have more of the same.
Antonio got more containers, sold them, and so on, and soon word spread, not just between people looking for a good price on bulk flooring, but also to manufacturers looking to close out large quantities of overstock.
I started to becoming the go guy for the flooring industry for closeouts. Once a factory had a lot of material they needed to get rid of, they will call me. I start selling the material worldwide to people, and the next thing you know, I'm selling 700 or 800 containers a year.
And so the Flooring King was born. For the next 10 years or so, Antonio's business thrived, buying and selling in bulk, storing materials in a warehouse in Fort Lauderdale.
We had a warehouse that I used to open at 8 o'clock in the morning and close it at 12 o'clock noontime, work by appointment only. And I started getting approached by the local market if I can sell them flooring on a pallet size, because right now we're just selling containers. So we start selling to people a couple hundred square feet here and there, selling a little bit by appointment, open at 4, open at 3, open the warehouse in different hours to people.
With so many locals buying from him, it wasn't long before they started asking about getting insulation done as well. Antonio made some calls and hired a few guys.
So I remember the first job that we did was literally a 1-bedroom, 200 square feet for $300 for a lady here, right here in Hollandale. And from that word to mouth, it took about a year that the whole city started to figure out that there's a warehouse in Fort Lauderdale that buy and sell flooring super inexpensive. A couple years later, we started doing 30 houses a day.
Antonio runs both the bulk wholesale and the retail ends of the company and says the secret to success is treating every client with the same attention and respect.
So I was doing maintenance to the $200 sale and the $500,000 sale. I never forgot it, and I treated everybody equally. So a phone call for a guy that wanted to buy 60 containers from Germany will be in the same level of a phone call from a guy that needs to do 4 bedrooms right here in Fort Lauderdale. So the bottom line is that we always like to deal with the local way more than to deal worldwide with people, because this is the people you need to see on a daily basis.
That sense of duty to the local community is exactly why Antonio jumped at the opportunity to work with Habitat for Humanity.
I remember the first Habitat for Humanity, and through him, after we sold them flooring, the buzz and the Habitats nationwide, which is hundreds of stores, that there's a guy that we can buy flooring from, and we can buy it very inexpensive. Basically, we started with 1, and when 3 weeks later we had 4, a month and a half later we had 9, and 2 years later we had close to 100 Habitats for Humanity that were sending stores nationwide flooring.
To say business is booming might be an understatement. With his product available in all 50 states, he and his business being featured on CNBC's Blue Collar Millionaire, it's safe to say Antonio is the undisputed flooring king.
What we do is a one-stop shop. I buy the flooring, I sell the flooring, I install the flooring, I warranty the flooring, and I'll get the headache when it comes, but quitting is not an option. Winners never quit, quitters never win.